Why did women become witches? Uh, I don't know how deep you want me to get into this, but I'll tell you what it makes me think of. Buckle up, Sally. We're going on a ride. You could say it just comes naturally to some people. You could say they're aligned with who they truly are. But some of us, we still ain't learned how to read the memo. I know that's vague, obscure, esoteric even. Funny enough, what we call witchcraft isn't so esoteric anymore. There are thousands of books about it. Some people still don't believe in it. That's wild, because it goes all the way back to Mesopotamia, predating Christianity, anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 years. Now, do you know why so many churches started demonizing witchcraft? Or what we may call witchcraft? I'm sure your guess is as good as mine. Although mine ain't so much a guess, more like an educated observation. They say we're not supposed to condemn our brothers and sisters. Oops. That's called dipping into your own supply. Anyway, but if we're considering prehistoric ritual shamanic practices, it goes back anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 years plus. I take it you don't know how powerful you are. And this is exactly why I said, do you know why the churches, so many churches, demonized what we may call witchcraft? I know we could teach you better, Bobby, but we like you stupid. Why don't we teach self-mastery again? Very odd. Did you put on your seatbelt? All right. So, do you know why it says, judge not, lest ye be judged? That one, it seems like most Christians skip over entirely. We don't need that. Let's just cherry pick the rest of it. Why do so many Christians feel persecuted? Judge not, lest ye be judged. When you go up to somebody and you condemn their beliefs without ever showing the compassion, at least to hear their testimony of life, you have judged their belief without ever taking the time to understand it, which happens all the time with people calling all these different things demonic. Why do so many Christians call astrology and tarot demonic, even though they don't know the origin of the word demon? I'll tell you. Because many people were taught not to self-reflect. You could think of astrology and tarot like mirrors, but mirrors only reflect what stands before them. When you call something demonic without ever taking the time to understand it, you have slammed shut the gate to understanding and compassion, thereby closing yourself off in a dim corridor of ignorance. Many Christians were made to fear knowledge, which doesn't make sense, because Yehoshua said, knowledge is the key to freedom. But unused keys are merely ornamental. It is application which unlocks the door. And even then, it still must be you that opens that door by your free will, by your own hand. Why don't we teach self-mastery again? Now, do you know what many churches did to the people that actually did walk with the divine? Same thing they did in the Salem witch trials. Burn them, cut them down. So I'm pretty sure that's the opposite direction that people want to go. But, after all, what need have I of true spiritual freedom when I have all this money? What? People are things, aren't they? What good are they if you don't use them? So anyway, when we're talking about what we may call witchcraft, what are we talking about really? Working with the unseen forces. Now, do you know which two unseen forces, excuse me, we work with the most? All of us. The two unseen forces we all work with every day, usually unconsciously. The emotional atmosphere and imagination. But we don't ever talk about those, do we? Why have there been lifelong witches? Not to mention all the other cultures that do what we may call witchcraft. There must be something to it. They must be consciously working with the unseen forces that are right there at their use. Now, what about all these people that condemn these things that they don't understand? They have turned their power in on themselves to keep themselves small. And that's why I say self-doubt and cringe are like viruses. They are weapons that we were taught to use on ourselves to keep ourselves small. Why do you think shame and guilt has been institutionalized as virtue throughout so much of society, but very heavily in a few religions? It's a good question to ask, especially considering shame closes, constricts, compresses, collapses. Shame breeds secrecy, repression, internal conflict. Just look at how carefully curated the school systems have been. Most of us, when we get out, we don't care to teach each other anything. Usually we opt for shaming each other. What are you, stupid? The question speaks for itself. Again, why are there thousands and thousands and thousands of books about what we may call witchcraft? I'll leave you with this. Do you know how powerful you are? If you believe you are powerless, so you are. And nobody can stop you, because free will is a choice. But many years ago, there was a number of people who accidentally locked themselves inside those big walk-in refrigerators. Sometimes no less than 50 degrees in there. They thought their time was done. They just laid down and accepted their fate. Sometimes right before somebody opened the door, oops. Why didn't anybody teach them right? Because there's a story much older than refrigerators. There was a lady who got caught out in a blizzard. She was on her way back home. Can't walk in that. She found a tree to huddle up near. And she knew if you fall asleep in the cold, you're going to wake up at least once before you croak. So she would run around the tree to warm her blood up and then go to sleep. Her body would shake her awake. She would run around the tree to warm her blood up and fall asleep. Her body would shake her awake again, 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 again. And when the blizzard was over, she went home. And I guess she was just in touch with her true nature. because that's not witchcraft. That's just being smart. Why do so many Christians feel persecuted again? I don't know. Running around a tree and falling asleep in the cold is easier said than done, but she did it. And that's how powerful we are. We're all slaves to the system. True freedom starts within. It's kind of like in them movies. The hero's on his knees in chains, really just taking a break. The bad guy says, "Bow down." The hero says, "I'm sorry, what?" "Bow down." No. Why not? "'Cause you don't tell me what to do, motherfucker."